Hi, folks. You're with Tacitus today. Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio, radio, no pictures live stream. Please listen to this presentation as you're driving along in your car or your truck, or put in those earbuds and lean back and listen to this while you're on public transport. In this essay, I'd like to talk about what's developing and increasing and growing in size and momentum, which is the ritual humiliation of white people. Now, what is that humiliation? How is it set up, and how is it put in place? So let me talk a little bit about that. And this is separate. This is ideological humiliation. This is not humiliation because I don't know, your pants fell down when you're walking down the main street. So, it's not that. It's ideological humiliation. Nor is it humiliation built around punishment for actual crime. This is an imagined crime or an asserted crime where there's an incredibly low bar of evidence, a very high bar that the white person has to meet to escape from being found guilty in court. And then the punishments aren't designed because no real crime has actually been committed, like you misgender somebody. So the punishments are community service, and they're meant to be humiliating. That is the sole purpose. The punishment and the process is there to humiliate the white person, preferably white men. That's the scope they really want. But look, straight white women will do. As long as they're white and straight, then kind of who cares, So this is it. Now, how does this sort of work out? Now, these are pre-planned, preset maneuvers. This is they're putting it out there, and they're looking for people to fall into the trap. That's how, these people are out there. They're predators, and they're out there to make kills, and we need to really sort of understand that. So it'll go something like this. So there's a well-known 100% white bar that's in a white sort of working class area. There's a few trailer parks around. We're not talking sophisticated white people here, but who cares? They're white and they're working class, and their manners are probably rather coarse, but so a man will go in, with a beard and full makeup in a dress, and he'll walk up and down, flaunting, sort of being as exhibitionist as possible, talking in mincy language, doing everything he can to be noticed, and then somebody will come out with, say, a homophobic slur or in this case, it might be a trans slur. And so hopefully it'll be a regular there, or maybe an employee. And then that's it. Gotcha. And so they'll go to an NGO saying, well, this guy, Billy Bob, in this place or that place, he used a homophobic slur, or he misgendered me, or something like that. So the activist NGO, normally this isn't something that would rate a mention anywhere, and this person can't afford the legal, but there's an activist NGO who they have orchestrated and coordinated with here. So they've managed to entrap some straight white guy to come out with a misgendering or something, and then the outraged NGO, which claims to be a charity, and they'll go out after this guy that came out with the supposed slur, and it's all free. The person making the complaint doesn't cost them a penny. In fact, they'll even be paid for their time to attend court and so on. So they'll be well looked after. They're just being used as the entrapment device. And they'll then go to an activist prosecutor, again, all coordinated, all prearranged. The prosecutor, of course, take up the case because they're fighting back against homophobia and so on. So they've got a righteous, morally superior cause. And this damn white fucking fascist, fucking Nazi has to be dragged into court and has to be shown who's moral boss around here. Hey, you fucking Hitler. So the guy Billy Bob gets dragged into court, and the activist judge. Now, Billy Bob's no genius. He doesn't understand anything about the law or about activism or something. So when all these Marxist phrases of oppression and stuff are ping-ponging around the courtroom, He doesn't know where they're from or what they mean or anything like that. He just sort of sits there all bewildered. He can't afford a lawyer. Some flunky legal aid lawyer may get a point, but their job, or they're part of the scam. Their job is to make sure that Billy Bob gets found guilty, and indeed he does. So what's the punishment? Because no crime's been committed. So what's the punishment? Well, community service. But the community service just can't be a useful community service, like maybe distributing food to the poor in the street, the homeless, taking, the food truck pulls up and then somebody comes out from the truck and distributes meals to the homeless. That's a very worthwhile community service, I would think. Or helping old people, cross the road or something, help them go to the grocery store and get their stuff. That's a useful community service. Or, going to those soup kitchen places where the homeless go for meals, going there and help with the cooking of the soup and I don't know, buttering the bread rolls or something. That's a useful community service. That's directly helping people in need. But that's not what they talk about when they say community service. This is a completely different arena of community service. The purpose of the community service that they're going to give this guy is humiliation. Ideological. You're going to bow on your fucking knees, you fucking Nazi. And so his job will be to clean toilets in a gay bar. That's your community service. And he better do a good job, because the gay manager of the bar or the owner or the supervisor, whatever it is, has to sign a little sheet to say that Billy Bob turned up and did the cleaned the toilets and didn't utter any homophobic slurs. They'll be baiting him like crazy. They'll be baiting him like fucking crazy, just aching, wishing for him to come out. They'll be provoking the fuck out of him, but he's got to learn to bite his tongue, which is all part of the humiliation, by the way. Now, whenever there are ideological governments and systems being imposed on people, humiliation is an integral part of it. Like in the Soviet Union, people that were perceived to be bourgeois, they would send them off to work camps in Siberia, and part of the process was that they had guards who would say, and get down on your knees and kiss my feet. And the guards would be the most vulgar, coarse people you could imagine, and really teach those bourgeois people a lesson. And humiliation was part of this lesson they had to learn. Your infinite inferiors can and will humiliate you anytime they choose, and to whatever extent they choose to do it. So he's got to do that now. So that's again part of he's committed no crime. I mean, is it an indiscreet utterance? Is it a case of bad manners or vulgarity or lack of breeding and education? Well, maybe, but it's not a crime. But they've turned these things into crime, which they then use as a delivery mechanism to put the person into a humiliation type environment, and that's it. Now, here's another one here. There's a guy who he's an older guy. I mean, he uses a hearing aid and everything. He goes to bed, takes out his hearing aid as he does when he goes to bed. His wife, who's a bit of a drunkard actually, and I think mentally unstable. I've met them. She staggers around drunk, falls down some stairs, or falls over a stair or something like that. She calls out to him to come and help her. I think she'd be all right. I don't think that the injury was big enough for her to worry about. But anyway, she calls to him. She's drunk. She calls to him. He's got his hearing aid. He doesn't hear her. How loud she called to him, I don't know. Given what a plotting, scheming shit she is, and I'm not sure I even agree that she called. Nonetheless, she has to go to hospital because like a sprained ankle or sprained wrist or something like that. So, and sure enough, there's when any woman is injured that comes in the hospital, they've got an automatic thing where an oppression of women unit comes in, and she's half brown, this woman. So that's another box, gets a female and the half brown. So this unit comes around. Well, we're just checking because did your husband beat you up or assault you or push you or something like that. Evil men, evil fucking straight white men. He must have done something to. Now we're talking about people in their 70s, so why they'd want to bother about this? is difficult to know. In fact, I think he's like 75 or something like that. And so she tells them she loves the attention she's getting, the fussing and so on. She's embarrassed to admit that she got drunk and fell over. I've actually obliquely mentioned this situation in a previous video, but so she says, did he push you? Did he hurt you? What did he do to you? You tell us what he did. We'll go and get him for you. Won't cost you anything. We'll get him. We'll teach that fucking Nazi oppressor, misogynist, patriarchal motherfucker. So she decides to embarrass her. Actually, I got drunk and fell over. No. So did he push you? Did he? And then they'll be at her, and then, yes, he pushed. I knew it. The fucking Nazi pushed you. Took me up. That's it. So next thing you know, he's getting dragged into court, and the evidence they have is only the evidence of a 73-year-old drunken woman, and that's it. I mean, they ain't got nothing else. He's bewildered, don't know what you're talking about. I take my hearing aid out if she did call, I didn't hear her. You lying fucking Nazi. And this guy's even got a German sounding name, so that was it. He's Hitler as well. So anyway, it's dragged into court, and he's found, and it's one of the, again, activist court, activist judge, activist prosecutor. How it even gets to court, you wouldn't fucking know, but it's all paid for. It doesn't cost the woman a cent. And so given there's zero evidence, I mean, there's nothing. He's denying it. But they say, well, you kind of sort of maybe part guilty, you're not innocent type. I mean, you're a straight white male, fuck yeah, So anyway, they decide he's got to do community service. And again, the community service, I mean, given the guy his age, the community service is that he's got to go to some sort of women's refuge and like do the laundry and that sort of stuff. So again, it's a humiliation ritual. It's not a punishment or anything. It is purely there to humiliate him, to show him that ideologically and morally, we're in charge, you fucking Nazi. So that's the and I could go on with with other similar sort of cases here about how community service is used to humiliate for people who are not guilty. Another one is there's a street where it's outside of a men's refuge, and so a woman. Is it a woman or a man? Anyway, goes by dressed in super revealing clothes, like tiny pair of shorts that go up the crack and everything like that. Walks up and down until some man makes an indiscreet utterance. And we're talking homeless men here. Some of them be retarded, but gotcha. So they're organising and doing a gotcha thing. So he gets sort of dragged through the mill. Right. So this goes on, but the point I'm illustrating here is this is all organised here. It's all prearranged. There's a decision being made. We're going to use this as a platform to humiliate straight white people, particularly straight white men, and put them in their damn place. And if they don't turn up for these supposed community service type orders, then they can go to prison for 60 days. So and you can imagine the radical feminists these places. You better do what I want, or I'm not going to sign that form, and you'll go to prison. Yeah, suck on that, you fucking damn Nazi. So this is part of the wider thing, and we need to understand that we're slipping further and further into ideological government, not government by the people or the democratic process where we vote for our government, this sort of thing. No. We're slipping further and further into ideological government, and they're chipping away. And we need to understand that the people who talk about rescuing democracy are its biggest enemies. The people who talk about the rule of law are the enemies of the rule of law. The people that talk about independent courts are the enemies of independent courts. Whatever, these people are, the globalists, they have dismantled all these things because their power will not be complete until they've got rid of all of these things, such as independent courts, rule of law, due legal process, the people voting for and choosing their governments and so on. They have to get rid of all that because they can't put the globalist project fully in place till all those things are gone. So they run around pretending to be its protectors when in fact they're its assassins. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.